A lot of patients, they don't understand what their medications are for. And so the way that Pharm2Pharm is set up is we provide a lot of education, more so now in the hospital and also extensively in the community.
The School of Pharmacy actually came to the HHIE with a new model in healthcare transformation to better manage and coordinate the care of complex patients with a focus on medication history. And we're very excited about the partnership that we have with Pharm2Pharm. They're really using a combination of tools that we have at the HHIE to build those connections between hospital pharmacists, community pharmacists, the patient, and their primary care providers.
Absolutely paramount is that patient information is safe. We need to make sure that only the people who need to have access, and only at the times when they need it. So that is something that HHIE has taken very seriously. We've developed really rigorous policies and procedures for making sure that all patient information is protected and stored securely and transmitted securely.
I think the new change in technology with Pharm2Pharm has been great, especially with the direct, secure email. Now I know that the messages got sent to the right person.
It's a lot quicker. You get confirmation that it was sent. You can get confirmation that it was read. You don't have to fight for the fax machine and everything like that. It's, automatically on your computer, just like one click and everything's there.
You can share any information with anyone connected on the system at any time from any source of information that you have. And so again, it's a very, very easy way for the providers in the community to communicate with each other and to connect with one another using that very simple tool.
So we have a couple different tools that the pharmacists really work with. The first tool is something developed by our technical experts here in-house, and that's called a patient registry. Its main function is really to streamline workflows and to facilitate tracking of patients across the spectrum of their care within Pharm2Pharm. So there's all kinds of systems that are involved with healthcare, and our job is really to help those things communicate.
For HCS Healthcare Systems 360, that's allowed me to check what medications a patient is taking compared to me calling the patient's pharmacy. Sometimes a patient will have more than 3 or 4 pharmacies that they pick up their medications from. It tells us if there's been any gaps in their fill history. So if a patient has been on a medication for more than a year and they've only filled it for maybe 10 times throughout the year, it'll mark it as red. So that saves me time calling 4 different people, asking them what medications the patient's picked up in the past year.
This allows them to identify problems between medications, between diseases, and those things specific to the patient so that they can make recommendations to the providers about those medications involved.
Many of the residents in the state of Hawaii, particularly in the rural counties, don't speak English as a first language, and so we actually have, as a part of the suite of solutions to Pharm2Pharm, a language translation service.
Hi, could you patch me through to a Marshallese translator? We don't need to ask a son or daughter to translate for us. Although they would most likely translate accurately and do their best, they're not versed in the medical terminology that you would need to communicate with the patient.
The community health record is one of the key initiatives of the HHIE. HHIE's technology experts are working with vendors to create the system. This is important because really it's helping us to not only meet the needs of the larger healthcare team, but also to exceed the expectations of the healthcare community and make it so that it's effective for everyone.
The community pharmacist and the hospital pharmacist will be able to get, their INRs, their kidney function, their liver function, anything like that that's really important that, the patient comes in and say they're on a medication that thins your blood and you need to know, well, what has your picture looked like before you came to the hospital? And if you see it's all over the place, it'll be really, really helpful in guiding future therapy, seeing those lab values.
Over time, what that results in is better management, better adherence by the patient of their medications, a more proactive approach to managing their condition, and over time that really keeps them out of the hospital, out of the physician practice, which will ultimately drive down costs within the healthcare system.
So technology has saved me, I'd say it saves me hours every day. And all those hours can be put into spending with the patient. I can go follow up with, instead of 1 patient a day, I can follow up with all the patients enrolled in Pharm2Pharm, can build that relationship. I can remind the patient, hey, when you get discharged tomorrow, the next day you're going to have a meeting with your community consulting pharmacist.
What's very unique about the Pharm2Pharm program is that it has a very committed group of healthcare providers, and I think the operative word is they all agree to work together, which means that there's a level of trust among the provider network to share information with each other in order for the patient to get quality care.
You want to enable and empower patients to take care of themselves. And so when they feel confident and they want to move forward with their lives, and we're all on the same page and it's a team process, you know you're moving in the right direction, making sure they take care of themselves the way that they need to keep them out of the hospital, keep them healthy, and having productive lives.
Through Juliana, I know it's corrected some problems, saved some serious problems from happening. I know I'm a beneficiary from an angel somewhere, and I'm so happy for it. Without it, I'd be a lesser man. So the program is working for me.